A climbing plant on vines that grows potato-like roots without digging the soil. Easy harvest. Have you ever seen a plant that grows potatoes without digging the soil at all? In this video, we'll explore a fascinating climbing vine that produces potato-like roots right on its stems, making harvesting incredibly easy and almost effortless. This unique plant surprises many gardeners because it grows upward instead of underground, offering a smart solution for small spaces and low-effort gardening. Whether you're curious about unusual crops, looking for easy harvest ideas, or just love discovering nature's hidden tricks, this plant will definitely catch your attention. One. What is this vine that produces potato-like aerial tubers? When most people hear potato, they think of something you dig out of the ground. But Dioscorea bulbifera, commonly called air potato or aerial yam, is quite different. It's a fast-growing climbing vine that produces potato-like growths above the soil. These growths, called bulbils, form in the leaf axils along the vine and resemble small potatoes that seem to float in the air. The plant belongs to the yam family Dioscorea and is native to tropical parts of Africa, Asia, and northern Australia. What makes this plant so remarkable is its ability to thrive without forming a large underground potato like the familiar potato crop. Instead, the major storage and reproduction organs are these aerial bulbils. The vines themselves can become very long, often reaching over 60 feet as they climb up trees, fences, or trellises for support. The leaves are broad and heart-shaped, with striking veins that spread from the base, giving the vine a lush, leafy look. While some related yam species are widely cultivated for food, this particular species is a bit controversial because some varieties are edible, while others can be bitter or toxic if not prepared properly. Because the air potato has spread far beyond its native range, it's now found in many parts of the world, including the Caribbean, the southeastern United States, and various islands in tropical America. It thrives in warm, humid climates and can adapt to different environments, growing along forest edges, roadsides, and disturbed areas where light is available. While people in some regions may enjoy harvesting and eating the bulbils after proper preparation, in others the vine is considered invasive due to its rapid growth and tendency to crowd out native vegetation. Two. How it grows. Climbing habits and root development explained. One of the first things you notice about the air potato vine is just how vigorously it climbs. This isn't a shy little plant. It has a herbaceous twining vine that can wrap around anything in its way, growing 8 inches per day or more under the right conditions. Unlike normal plants that send out a single stem upward, this vine often branches as it climbs, creating a network of stems that can reach the tops of trees or over fences. Its climbing habit is driven by the slender, rounded stems that spiral around supports, and the heart-shaped leaves alternately arranged along the stems help capture sunlight for photosynthesis. As it grows upward, the plant begins producing bulbils, potato-like tubers that develop right along the vine's nodes where leaves attach. These bulbils vary in size but generally look remarkably like miniature potatoes clinging to the green stems. Once they mature, they can drop off and start new vines wherever they fall, which is one of the easiest and most effective ways this plant spreads. In some landscapes, you'll see hundreds of these aerial tubers dangling from a single vine late in the growing season. While the bulbils are the most visible part of the plant's reproductive strategy, above ground there are also underground tubers that resemble regular yams or potatoes to some extent, though these are usually smaller and less important for spread than the aerial bulbils. Both underground and aerial tubers can sprout new vines, meaning the plant has multiple ways of regenerating itself even after a growing season ends. This dual strategy, growing long vines and producing abundant aerial tubers, is what makes the air potato so successful and, in many places, difficult to control. Three, why it doesn't need digging. Growing without soil disturbance. One of the biggest reasons gardeners and plant lovers are fascinated by the air potato vine is that you don't have to dig up the soil to harvest its potatoes. In traditional root crops like regular potatoes or carrots, the edible parts grow underground and must be dug up carefully at harvest time. With the air potato, the main harvestable parts, the aerial bulbils, grow above the soil surface, attached along the vine itself. When they are fully developed and firm, you can literally reach out and pick them off the plant by hand. This aerial growth pattern means that the plant's most noticeable and valuable structures are right where you can see and collect them without bending down or disturbing the earth with tools. The underground tubers, while present, are usually not the primary focus for harvest unless you want to propagate or remove the plant entirely. Many gardeners find this above-ground harvest method surprisingly convenient, especially when compared to traditional root crops that require soil work and careful unearthing. However, it is important to understand that the convenience of above-ground harvest comes with a trade-off. If the plant is growing in your yard without control, it can spread aggressively and smother other plants nearby. In places like Florida and other southeastern states, air potato has become a listed invasive species because it forms dense mats of vines and aerial tubers that overshadow native vegetation and alter ecosystems. These bulbils, even the small ones, are incredibly capable of sprouting new vines. So any that fall or are left behind after harvest can continue the cycle of growth. Four, harvesting and storage. Easy pickup, smart keeping. When it comes to harvesting this climbing vine's potato-like bulbils, one of the biggest advantages is that you don't have to dig into the soil at all. Many growers wait until the bulbils are fully mature and firm on the vines, then simply twist or pluck them off with your hands as they hang in the leaf junctions. Harvesting early in the morning when the dew is still on the vines is often recommended because the moisture helps protect the surface of the bulbils and makes them easier to grip without bruising. Once collected, you can lay them out on bamboo mats or trays for initial drying in the shade so they are not too moist before longer-term storage. Storing the bulbils properly matters if you want them to last without rotting. After harvest, many people sun-dry them gently, rotate them often, and keep them in a cool, well-ventilated area so heat and moisture don't build up and cause decay. Unlike many underground tubers that often have to be cured and stored under specific cool conditions, these aerial tubers are already accustomed to drying and can be kept longer without complex storage techniques as long as they are kept dry and free from pests. Keeping them in baskets or breathable containers rather than sealed plastic also helps. Maintain good air circulation so they stay firm and ready to cook when you need them. Because the plant naturally forms these bulbils above ground, many gardeners find that harvesting feels almost effortless compared to traditional root crops. You don't need shovels or forks to dig them up, and you don't risk damaging other plants when you harvest. However, if you also plan to use the underground tubers, which are smaller and sometimes harvested too, you would still handle those like other yams, digging, washing, and curing before storage. 5. Nutritional value in cooking. What to know before you eat. The potato-like bulbils and underground tubers produced by Dioscorea bulbifera have a nutritious profile that includes carbohydrates, fiber, and minerals similar to other yams and potato crops, making them a potential energy source in many traditional diets. These nutrients support digestion, energy, and mineral balance, and in some cultivated varieties, the tubers and bulbils have been used as staple foods in parts of West Africa and Asia. While wild varieties can contain bitter compounds, many edible cultivars have been selectively grown to reduce bitterness and increase palatability, allowing you to boil or cook them like regular potatoes or yams. It's important to understand that not all air potato tubers are automatically safe to eat straight off the vine, especially wild, uncultivated ones. Some contain bitter substances such as saponins and other compounds that can be unpleasant or unsafe if consumed raw. Traditional preparation methods often involve thorough boiling, peeling, soaking, or drying before cooking to remove or reduce those compounds and make the bulbils edible. Once prepared properly, they can be used in familiar ways: boiled, mashed, added to stews, or substituted for other starchy vegetables in recipes much like regular potatoes or other yams. Because of this mix of edible and potentially toxic varieties, being sure of exactly what you regrowing is crucial before cooking or eating any part of the plant. Some regions treat these bulbils as a regular food after proper preparation, while in others they remain primarily ornamental or for non-food uses due to safety concerns. If you decide to try cooking them, start with small amounts and familiar cooking techniques that help neutralize unwanted compounds, and when possible choose cultivars known to be edible. Six. Common mistakes and how to avoid them for best growth. Growing a climbing plant like the air potato can feel exciting, but it's easy to make mistakes that slow growth or encourage unwanted spread. One of the most common errors is underestimating how fast and far the vine can grow. In ideal warm conditions, this vine can grow several inches in a single day and can quickly climb over nearby plants or structures if it has not given proper support. Another mistake many growers make is not managing bulbils properly. These potato-like aerial tubers are what the plant uses to spread, and if you leave too many on the vine or let fallen bulbils sit in your garden, they can sprout new vines later. Unlike underground potatoes that stay put, these bulbils are highly mobile once detached and can lead to accidental self-propagation all over your garden space. A third challenge is ignoring local ecological impact, especially in areas where air potato is considered invasive. In places like parts of the southeastern United States, Florida, and other humid regions, our potato vines can smother native plants and create dense mats that shade out everything beneath them. Trying to grow the plant without understanding its invasive potential can lead to long-term control headaches and environmental harm. To avoid these problems, give the vine controlled supports like sturdy trellises, regularly inspect and remove excess bulbils, and check whether your region classifies the plant as invasive or regulated. Also consider implementing biological pest control if it becomes hard to manage on your own. In some areas, scientists have introduced natural beetle predators like the air potato leaf beetle to help keep the vine in check through integrated pest management techniques. Seven. Creative ways to use and appreciate this unique vine. Once you've learned how to grow and manage a climbing plant like the air potato responsibly, there are many creative ways to enjoy it beyond simple harvest. Some gardeners train the vines on pergolas, trellises, or garden arbors so that the bulbils hang like decorative ornaments until it is time to harvest them. This makes the plant not only productive but also a living feature in your outdoor space. Even though many wild varieties of air potato aren't edible without careful preparation, cultivated edible types can be prepared like other yams after proper boiling or cooking. In traditional cultures, these tubers become part of hearty dishes once they are made safe to eat, much like familiar root crops, adding a unique twist on homegrown ingredients. Besides food uses, parts of the plant have been valued in traditional medicine for centuries. For example, in some regions, extracts or preparations from the plant have been used to soothe digestion or support wellness, although you should always rely on reputable sources and experts if you re-exploring medicinal uses rather than culinary ones. Lastly, if you decide not to eat or harvest the bulbils, you can still enjoy this vine as a functional living screen that shades patios or garden walls provides habitat for beneficial insects, or becomes part of a vertical gardening project that maximizes space. By planning ahead and knowing how to care for this remarkable plant, you turn what some see as a weed into a productive, visually striking part of your garden.